But God made it easy. He did the work. He paid the price for us. You know, someone's been murdered, and they go to the court, and they're sentenced to death, and the judge comes off his pedestal, he gets off, gets down.
Hello everyone, it is Monday, April 5th. The time right now is 4:14 p.m. and the temperature is 11 degrees Celsius. I'm here in Chinatown at the intersection of Dundas Street West and Spadina Avenue. And that was the Spadina Streetcar I just got off of.
Who's been sentenced for a crime. But God did that for us.
And there's a look north up Spadina Avenue. This would be the main intersection of Chinatown. And the plan for this one is to go head on over to Kensington Market and I will explore some lesser known and somewhat hidden laneways and side streets. And those will be in and around the Kensington Market and Chinatown neighborhoods. I just thought I'd do something a little different today. And I'm currently walking west along the north side of Dundas Street. And there's a look towards the Alexandra Park neighborhood. And that's a 505 Dundas streetcar going by. That will head all the way over to Roncy, and then it'll head up north to Dundas West Station. So I'll turn north here on Kensington Avenue and head into Kensington Market, which is a rather vibrant neighborhood nestled just next to Chinatown. It's full of a lot of unique businesses and homes and parks. And it's actually a National Historic Site, and it got that designation back in 2005. So this is Kensington Avenue, and unfortunately, for some reason, patios aren't able to operate right now, and it'll be at least a month till they can reopen under the current restrictions, and that really takes a lot of life out of this neighborhood. And this neighborhood was first developed, I think, back in the early 1800s. And then later on, towards the mid part of that century, it was subdivided. And here's our first stop, Fitzroy Terrace. So a lot of people pass through Kensington Avenue here and the parallel Augusta Avenue, but I bet most don't take the time to come down here. I'm certainly guilty of that. And some of the properties on Fitzroy were built to house English workers back in the 1880s. And I think this home in particular is the oldest home in Kensington Market. It's an old barn-style house. Sayura's Slime Salon. I'm not sure what exactly that is, but right next to it, it's a really interesting Japanese-style gradient house. This looks like it's straight out of the side streets of a city like Tokyo or Osaka. I don't know when it was originally built, but it was rebuilt in 2012, and it's about 1,500 square feet. And here's just a look down the remainder of Fitzroy. Okay, and the next stop will be Kensington Place. I have no idea what kind of animal that is. There's a place called the King of Kensington, Victory Girl Vintage, named after the old Al Waxman show based in this neighborhood. And I think this is Kensington Place. This is described as an eclectic little cul-de-sac of former workers' cottages. So let's go take a look. So I think these would have been built for the English and Irish workers who first settled this area back in the 1800s. There's certainly no shortage of street art and graffiti in this area. And this is St. Andrew Street. When Moonbeam has totally redone the front end of their store there. It's a very well-known and well-liked cafe in the neighborhood. And this will connect to Glen Baillie Place, I think it's pronounced. However, I don't think I'll be able to get to where I want to go from here. Yes, it's all fenced in. So I'll head over to Spadina Avenue and... oh, there's an opening here. I wonder if I can go all the way through. I think I could have accessed this area from a laneway just over there off of Kensington Avenue. There's a look at the backside of a lot of homes. And this here is just tucked in off of Spadina Avenue. And you might never have expected there to be this laneway full of brightly colored Victorian era row homes, but here we are. So this little shortcut worked out. And this will take us right to Chinatown when I head straight onto Spadina. When I planned this route out, I thought I would be entering here from Spadina. There's Ajisen Ramen. They had a sidewalk patio set up during that glorious 13 days or so when we were allowed to engage in outdoor dining. So here's where Glen Baillie Place is. There's the very well-known Dumpling House restaurant. And a look towards the CN Tower, that's a look south. So I'm going to head to the other side of Spadina Avenue now. There was a laneway just to the north of here known as Croft Street. Yes, just to the, it's the first major street to the south. And the Croft Street video was suggested by a viewer. So thank you to Funny Dog for that. And when I was looking into that, that kind of inspired me to want to do this walk, and I just put it on the back burner for quite a while. And straight across from me is Roll Sand. This place is a favorite amongst those who do some late night drinking in the city. There's the local LCBO in this neighborhood. There's usually a bit of an interesting crowd hanging out in front of that LCBO. But not today. So next I'm heading to a street I've never been to before. I've been to all those laneways in the past, but I have never been to Glasgow Street. And I think it's just to the north of here. And that's a look over at Nassau Street. That'll lead you into Kensington Market. There's a Krispy Kreme donut next to a bubble tea shop and a cannabis shop. So here is Cecil Street. And just on my right, it's a rather well-known place. This is Grossman's Tavern. And that's been around since 1943. It's one of the longest running live music venues in the city. It's known for blues, jazz, bluegrass, and rock. During non-COVID times, they pretty much have live music every day of the week. I've only ever been there once, but it's certainly a local icon in the area. And I read that it was purchased by a local Chinese family, and they've had it in their family since the 70s. So I think I could take this alleyway here, and this will connect me to Glasgow Street. There's a plaque on this building here. This was originally a church dating back to 1891. There's the always present CN Tower. And here is Glasgow Street. I wonder if this has anything to do with Scottish settlers to the area. And apparently here, a row of Second Empire houses await us, built between the 1860s and early 1900s. Toronto's kind of well known for its laneways. And this is something I'll probably be doing a lot more exploring of in the future. It's crazy to think all the generations of people that must have been through these places. There's a food delivery truck. That one is for lease at 29 Glasgow Street. So what I will do is make my way over to a subway station. And I'll try to get a little lost along the way and see if we can discover some new alleyways I've never been to. There's one right along Baldwin Village I'd like to go down. This kind of reminds me of a New York City style apartment building, complete with the sort of flimsy metal balconies. I'm just not seeing the fire escapes. I wonder if at one point these had those flimsy fire escapes that have sort of become rather iconic in New York City. Let's see if this part of the laneway has a name here. Oh, not all the laneways in the city are named. There is a project to do that. And we have wandered onto Huron Street. So I'm going to see if I can find my way onto another laneway. So that would be Cecil Street. Here we go. That looks like a laneway. I just want to check out some of these workers' cottage style homes right here. And there's some police cars on Cecil Street there. So we are in uncharted territory. On my Croft Street walk, I talked about a lot of the laneway houses that are popping up throughout the city, although I didn't see any there. And it looks like this laneway might come to an end straight ahead. I kind of see it peeking out onto the next street. And what street is this? You'd think I should know that. This is Ross Street. Let's see if I can squeak down this laneway That should be Beverly just up ahead. And I'll be able to take that down to Baldwin. Somebody bought an LG, but it's not an OLED. That box actually said 2018 on it. And here is Beverly Street. So that'll terminate to the north there at College. And you can take this south down to Queen. It'll pass by the Art Gallery of Ontario on the way, as well as what I believe is the Italian consulate. This building gives off a bit of a Japanese vibe to it. Clean lines, the green patio there. So that next street over would be McCall. And there's a look at the Polish Combatants Association, Branch 20. So I'll have to be on some fairly major roads just for a minute or two. I'm not sure if there's any laneways in between here and McCall. I could get lost on a bit. Oh, there's a squirrel and a cat coexisting. And this is Baldwin Street. You can see the Chinese characters on the sign. That would be traditional, not simplified. And this is a very underappreciated part of town. So to the west there, that'll take you back to Spadina Avenue into the heart of Chinatown. But we're going to check out this laneway right here. I think this is a Kinton Ramen. Looks like they invested in a patio. They didn't even get 2 weeks use out of it. So there's a lot of neat restaurants right along this stretch. But that's not the theme of this one. So I am heading east towards McCall right now. I think this last little bit here will be the end of the laneways for this video. I'm just going to find my way to a subway station now. Maybe St. Patrick. If you like this concept for this video, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to do this sort of thing more often. Myself and a lot of the other people that make videos like this in Toronto tend to stick to mostly the major paths and more well-known residential areas. So from time to time, it's cool to do a little extra exploring like this. Like, look at this little neat area. I'm gonna have fun doing my little animated map that I like to do at the start of these videos with a route like this. And there's our second Krispy Kreme on this walk. There's no crosswalk button for this. All right, I'm just gonna cross here. And this should be where Elm Street begins. There's a look north up McCall. And there's a look to the south with the CN Tower and the Ontario College of Art and Design hovering in the air just beyond the Art Gallery of Ontario. And nestled in behind those is Grange Park. And now it's onto Hospital Row. This building here is advertising 1 month free rent. And this is St. Patrick Street, I think, coming up. Yep. And you know what? I have recorded down the next street, Simcoe, but I don't know if I've ever recorded on St. Patrick before. And I think this whole walk would make kind of an interesting live stream as well. So I'll put that on the radar. Toronto Chinese Catholic Center. Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. And there's some Chinese characters. I don't see a plaque that would tell me how old that building is. Maybe I'll have to include a somewhat better research walk along St. Patrick in a future video. And here is Dundas Street West. So I'm just going to make a left here. And in a couple of short blocks, I'll be at University Avenue, or I'll duck into the subway. There's a 49-story tall building here. For a lot of cities, that would be quite dramatic, but in Toronto, that's just par for the course these days. Might even be on the small side. There's a look west along Dundas and a look right up at the sun.
Yeah, I'll have all the weekends free. I've got my...
There is a Toronto Police Division. I think that's 52 Division. I can't quite read the sign from here. It's being obscured by that fence. It's on the worst possible angle with relation to that fence. I'm pretty sure it's 52 Division. There's a look south, down Simcoe. There we go, 52 Division. And this building on the left, can't really look up and see it, but it's kind of a neat story. They put a whole new facade on the building and extended it upwards several floors. So this is University Avenue, and
There you go. It's not even open.
this would be an area considered to be Hospital Row. There's 4 major hospitals right along here. There's a look up at that building I was just talking about. I have never gone into or out of the subway here before, I think. Which is weird, because I've certainly started and finished a lot of videos from this station over the past few years. Let me just get ready to pop into the station. Oh, it looks like some biker car had a bit of a spill right there. It looks like that building is getting a similar treatment across the street. All right, I still haven't got my haircut. Spin around, camera. There we go. Well, let's head in to the station here, and I have a choice. I could go north and then transfer at St. George. And then I would have to transfer again. Actually, I think I might go live stream. So I am going to go north and transfer at St. George. But if I was going to Midtown, I could go north and then transfer again at Bloor, or I could go south and backtrack around the downtown loop, but I wouldn't have to transfer. Looks like my camera's kind of pointing down a bit. Got these markings here, correctly funneling people to the right. Although people often don't seem to be following that. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this walk in and around some lesser known and hidden laneways in Kensington Market in Chinatown. If you wish to support the channel, there are links to my Patreon in the description. I also have a not very up-to-date Instagram account. And you can check out channel memberships on the main page as well. And here's the train, so I'll sign off now, but leave the camera running as I board. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.
Line 1, northbound. Please stand clear of the doors. Next station is Queen's Park. Queen's Park Station.